As a culture, we embrace advisors like financial consultants, professional career coaches, personal trainers, etc. Yet the advice I was receiving and have been for the last 17 years has brought me a lot of eye rolls. Join me on this little road trip to our old neighborhood and I'll explain. I want to give a special mention to Sabrina. Sabrina, thank you for subscribing to our YouTube channel. Thank you for all your continued support. Sabrina brings tidiness and calm living to your life. If you want to be featured next time, subscribe, leave a thoughtful comment below with the hashtag I am for you. Intentional marriages for you. All right, you guys ready for this road trip? As I mentioned, there are tons of advisors, coaches, consultants in our lives. And think about it, especially you men, there is no sport without a coach. No sport.
The last thing I want to do is talk.
I think there's been a misunderstanding here. See, we signed up for the fun stuff with the touchy-feely shit being optional.
Thank you.
I think.
Yet we avoid coaches inside of our relationships and we avoid them inside of our marriages. Coaches who could help us with our communication skills. Don't you feel there's room for improvement with your communication skills? And for newlyweds, there's even more shame in going to counseling. They're supposed to be living happily ever after, right? And going to counseling for them is not a sign of wisdom, it's a sign of failure. So they hunker down, they stay quiet about their issues, and the years roll by. Research has actually shown that couples who are having issues and problems will wait 6 years before reaching out and trying to address them. And sometimes that could be 6 years too late. There is such a stigma in going to counseling. And I should know, I was so embarrassed about going to counseling, not necessarily before I got married, but definitely afterward. I mean, we must be the only couple with issues, right? Okay, so you're wondering why we're in this neighborhood. We're going back to my old neighborhood because there was a pivotal moment in a specific driveway that changed everything in how I felt about going to therapy and who knew about it. 2 years into our marriage, Russ and I decided to move. You can see in this video here the reasons why we had to move, and they're not ones that I'm really proud about. After we decided to move, with my suggestion and his former wife's suggestion, we moved back into the old neighborhood Russ used to live in, back into the neighborhood where our children lived with their mother. Living back in the same neighborhood was ideal. It allowed both Russ and his former wife to see the kids every day, regardless of what home they slept at. One Friday evening, we dropped off the kids at their mother's house, and she came out to thank us, and because it was a Friday night, she naturally asked, "Are you guys going on a date night?" And in my mind, I'm thinking, yes, we're going on a date night. That's all we need to share. And Russ goes, "No, actually, we're going to a counseling appointment." On a Friday night. Oh, I was so embarrassed. I was just like, as we're pulling out of the driveway, I was very frustrated with Russ because I was embarrassed. I'm like, really, do we have to tell everybody? Can we not just keep this our little secret? Like, newlyweds don't go to counseling, right? It's a sign of failure. It's like something's wrong with us. And so it hurt my little soul that he was telling people so openly. And I was like, can we just keep this private? But I'm so grateful that I followed Russ's lead about staying transparent, because little did I know, people were watching us. Very important people, like his children. Do you have the same aversion to going to counseling? Comment below if you feel that same stigma. Fast forward 7 years, our daughter comes to us and says, "Hey Dad, can I go to counseling?" And I kept waiting for her to follow up and say, "And don't tell anybody." Naturally, right? I was embarrassed. Well, surely she'll be embarrassed too. She never was. She never wanted it to remain private. In fact, it seemed extremely normal for her to go to counseling, which now all of a sudden, that moment in the driveway when he was sharing this with his former wife, that we were going to counseling on a Friday night, it all made sense. And I'm so glad We stayed transparent about it because we've now normalized that behavior for his daughter, who felt very comfortable in asking to go. And back to having advisors and coaches and consultants in our lives, I implore you to really look into seeking out some kind of guide, some mentor. It can be a therapist, a counselor. If money's an issue, look into marriage mentors. That's exactly what Russ and I do, is that we share simply from our life experience. We're not professional counselors, but we have learned a lot from 17 years of going to couples counseling, and we help couples based on our experience. Now, if somebody's struggling with something that's outside of our experience, then we encourage them to either find another mentor couple or seek out counseling. So I'm just encouraging you to invite some kind of coach, some kind of consultant, especially in crisis mode. The last thing you want to do is start the conversation in a crisis, right? You want to be able to know somebody and be able to go right into, not having to go through all the history and just go right into the crisis. Especially today, in today's world, not only are you dealing with the natural and normal stresses of life, but put on top of that this current crisis that we're going through, and simply staying isolated isn't a stress in itself. And it tends to exaggerate stresses that we were already experiencing. So if you feel like you are struggling in your relationships, if you're struggling in your marriage, I encourage you to reach out. Now, if you're thinking, I don't even know where to begin in looking for a therapist, seek out GOTTMAN certified counselors. The GOTTMANs they're a highly renowned psychologist, and they've been studying couples for the last 40 years. And if you want to bank on somebody who's very knowledgeable about relationships, look for somebody who has been certified under the GOTTMANs. So look for a GOTTMAN certified counselor. Again, if money's an issue, seek out a married couple that is like 10 or 15 years ahead of you, who's willing to mentor you. That can be just as valuable as long as they emulate what you are hoping to reach in your next 10 years. Remember, it's normal not to be seeking out counselors. We have a tendency to wait till we're in trouble, and I think that feeds part of the stigma, is that we only go to counseling when we're in trouble. So instead of waiting until you're in trouble, be proactive and reach out now. Treat your marriage as important as your finances, your professional career goals, your personal training goals. You may never know who might be watching you. Ladies, our August Wives Who Thrive workshop is closed, but you can join the waiting list, link is below, to be notified the next time it opens. This is an alternative to counseling where you'll have community with other women, and I share all the life lessons I've learned from going to couples counseling the past 17 years. If you like the content of this video, give us a like, subscribe, and take a screenshot of me sitting in my car. Don't you talk to yourself when you're sitting in your car? Thanks for joining us. And if you want an extraordinary marriage, remember, be intentional. I'll see you in the next video.